what we're going to see in this clip of the Board of Puppets is Harry the Hack and Alan Morgan talking about the operator certification, the recertification, which all came about as a result of the Sandy Day crash. Uh, you know, when I watched this, I'm so glad that I'm not there anymore. I mean, this is one job where you have an objective criteria that can be easily looked at to see whether the person that's employed as a bus driver is doing the job right. Has the bus driver had accidents? Has the bus driver had complaints? If the answer is no to both those questions, obviously they're doing the job. You can look at their record and find that out. The problem I always had with TriMet is they throw everybody in a bucket of, well, none of our drivers really know what they're doing, so we need to retrain them. And I've personally always found that insulting. Anyway, one of the reasons they do these things is so that they can focus liability on drivers when things happen. That's the main reason for this, okay? Of course, they're trying to improve your skills. Can they improve your skills? It's not likely. I mean, you have 20-year, 30-year veterans. You're not going to be able to change their way of driving. Everybody that does this job has to find their own way of doing it. There's no two drivers that do the job exactly the same. So we'll hear the presentation by Harry the Hack. Alan Morgan, who was extremely paranoid of me, and I've got some videos somewhere around of him. The training department was extremely paranoid of me when I was working at TriMet, and whenever I was down there for anything, they would always counsel me very sternly under threat of termination if I recorded anything. They're an extremely paranoid bunch of people at the TriMet training department. Last time I talked to other people in training department, they were not big fans of Alan Morgan. I know that Pete Taylor was kicked under the bus by Alan Morgan and died shortly thereafter. He was kicked out of TriMet in a very brutal fashion. Alan Morgan is a company hack who went to the Sandy Day trial and basically lied about training, you know, and well, that's what the executives do. They lie in order to cover TriMet and themselves.
Good morning. This morning I'd like to give you an overview of our bus recertification program, and what this really is an intensive process with each one of our operators. This year's program starts October 28th, and it actually extends to about 4 or 5 months, because that's how long it takes us to actually get through every one of our operators. There are 3 main goals from this training. One, obviously, is to promote safety. There's special emphasis placed on pedestrian and cycle safety as well during these sessions. It's also to promote exceptional customer service. And then lastly, this is also an opportunity to update the operators on any special SOBs, or if there's been any changes to the driving regulations or the ADA requirements. If you recall, this program started in 2011. And at that time, that was when the concept of safety being not a priority, but rather it is a value, a core value within the agency. That was also a time when we began training operators how to scam, it's a defensive driving technique, more effectively. And then last year's program in 2012, we focused on managing the risks that an operator may encounter in their daily driving. And this year the program is now emphasizing being predictive, and that's anticipating some of the hazards that might occur and taking the appropriate action. What I'd like to do now is have Alan actually explain a little bit more about the classroom session for this year, and also about the driving skills assessment that is performed on every one of our bus operators.
Good morning. I'm Alan Morgan, Manager of Operations Training at TriMet. And as Harry said, the focus of this certification program is safety. That's always the #1 goal. As part of that, each year, We do a morning presentation on safety and reviewing skills. Harry just outlined those skills, such as scanning and reducing risks. But also, we go out, take drivers out on the road, and they receive coaching drives from their trainer, where the trainer gives them feedback, and their fellow drivers on the bus with them give them feedback. And then I believe we do something that's very unique in the yearly training program in our industry. We actually give them a very short skills assessment. It is based on the skills assessment that the state DMV uses for commercial drivers. We have 7 trainers who are state third-party certified driver's license examiners for the state of Oregon. And we use those same standards to give them a test, and for any operator needs additional help, then we go out and service with them and follow them up later with that help. So very excited about that. And that happens with every driver each year. The rest of the day, after we come back from the assessment drives and the coaching drives, is spent in the classroom, where we have a wide number of topics to cover that Harry talked about. That includes customer service, the ADA, other topics such as fatigue awareness, hours of service, distracted driving, distracted walking, which is now a phenomenon that our drivers are confronted with in many, many areas of the city. We talk also about very specific things, like this year we're going to, Harry and I and some others have spent some time with the folks at Fire Station 1 and talk about some difficulties they have there in getting out across the mall. So we will review that. And we also take this as an opportunity to get feedback from the drivers and let them give us their slant on what's happening. This year we're going to ask for feedback on mobile ticketing, how the fare printers are working, and how the new radio system is working, if there's any changes or upgrades we need to do there.
So, with that, if you have any questions, we'd be pleased to answer those.
So, you said you used a third party for recertification?
I have 7 trainers who are
On staff?
7 of 17, actually, 7 of 18, who are state certified third-party driver's license examiners. So we're also training a lot of new drivers right now. And rather than take time and take them to DMV and set up an appointment, the state allows us to do our own tests. So we have 7 examiners who examine for the state for TriMet employees. We use those same standards the state uses for their CDL tests or our driver's skills assessment.
And all these people are former drivers?
All of the trainers are former drivers.
Okay. Other questions?
No, there was nothing in the packet, was there?
No.
Yeah. In the future, safety is one of the big issues for this board. Maybe good to get some this information in the packet so we can have that ahead of time. Be a little bit more prepared for you when you come here to talk about this.
So, if you'd like, we could summarize what we spoke about this morning and provide that to you.
I'm here, I'm seeing some, that's not what I said.
It would be very helpful.
Good. Thank you.
Mr. President, one thing I'd just like to say, I just want to give my thanks and support for the safety and Neil's leading direction in that. We remember a couple of years back, we had quite a few things that were happening around with TriMet, and the question kept arising about safety and training of drivers, and to see how fast we responded to doing that and bringing online and continuing to make sure our drivers are well trained and certified for what they're doing. So I want to give my appreciation for that.
All right.
Now moving on.